Next up, Rick and Rick reveal the most anticipated movies of 2019.
That's right. We're counting down the upcoming movies we can't wait to see the most.
Will they include Avengers Endgame or Men in Black International?
X-Men Dark Phoenix or Kingsman 3?
Star Wars Episode 9 or Untitled Terminator Project? What the hell?
And it all starts right here, right now.
On the one show where everybody's name is Rick.
And everybody rules the world.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Rick Matheson, and here with me, as always, is Rick Wooten. And in this episode, we're going to be counting down each of our most anticipated movies of 2019. We look at this coming year. So Marvel's all over the place, and there are a couple of good DCs. That's the one thing I will say about my list is that pretty much all of them were superheroes. Superhero sci-fi. One of my top three easily that I'm looking forward to seeing is SHAZAM, which is coming in April. It's directed by David Sandberg. It looks like, Zachary Levi from Chuck in a movie that looks like a cross between Big with Tom Hanks and, well, Chuck. Lovable doof and his even doofier sidekick save the world. So this actually looks fun to me. I used to love Shazam, the Captain Marvel character, and it is interesting that here we are in 2019 with two movies, a Marvel movie and a DC movie, both with Captain Marvel. Shazam's original character was Captain Marvel in 40 when he came out, 41. And he was given his powers by the wizard Shazam. So every time Billy Batson would say the word Shazam, he would become Captain Marvel, the world's mightiest mortal. And this was created by Fawcett Comics. And for a time, it was outselling Superman. DC ended up suing Fawcett because they felt like it was infringement on the Superman character. It's very different, but, superheroes dressed up tights with a cape fly through the air and have pretty much all the same powers. I don't remember what happened there, but at some point along the way, DC got the rights to the character with that old Saturday morning live action show. I don't know if you remember that, but there was this.
I do.
I used to love that. It's so dumb. It's like, why was he driving around in a Winnebago with a creepy old man? I have no idea what the hell was going on in that. I'm thinking Child Services was going to come out and pick them up in the Winnebago. But I guess in late 2000s they decided, or there was some kerfuffle with Marvel over Captain Marvel, and DC decided that they will not use Captain Marvel, that will go to Marvel, and they will call the character Shazam, which has always presented a problem for me because he can't tell anyone his name. Because if they ask what's your name, he's going to say Shazam and then turn back into Billy Batson and give up his secret identity. So I don't know how they worked that out. How about you? What's one of the weird ones on your list?
Well, so here's one for you. So look, much like, maybe Shazam might be a little bit campy, might be a little bit silly. I just discovered that this movie is being released this next year, and it is as campy as can be. And it is Zombieland Double Tap. So it's the second installment of Zombieland. Have you seen the first?
Yes, I was so glad when I saw that. Like, way to wait 10 years for the sequel. I hope it's as good as the first.
Yeah, I read a little piece on this, and they were talking about how just basically timing wasn't working out in the past. The actors were busy, or the director was busy, or the studio was focused their money on other things. And so it just so happened that all of the stars aligned, and it was the right time to make this. The actors are available, the studio is ready to do it. And so supposedly by the end of the year, we should have Zombieland 2 called Double Tap. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Just from what you've told me before, this year has to be like teenage Rick Wooten's dream year of movies when you see X-Men Dark Phoenix, the new Mutants, and all these big Marvel properties. And of course, Avengers Endgame. That's probably the one I'm most excited about.
Well, then add to that, you've also got Spider-Man Far From Home. And you've got a new Men in Black, actually. So
yes.
They're stacking the deck. There's a whole bunch of really good, my childhood movies coming out right now.
But you've got all these movies and Untitled Terminator.
That's right. Well, when they give a title, I'll decide if I'm interested in that one or not.
Another movie that I'm super excited about is there's a movie version of Downton Abbey. Just kidding. They're really I'm not interested in that. This Men in Black International, one of your top sci-fi movies in our countdown was Men in Black. And so I'm curious what you think about this one. It's got Tessa Thompson from Westworld and Chris Hemsworth, Mighty Thor, and Liam Neeson. It doesn't seem like a cast you would imagine for this. But Chris Hemsworth is proving himself to be pretty comedic, so hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in this one as well. I think that is it Tessa? I think the storyline of her, basically not forgetting and then trying to track them down, and I just think it makes it an interesting point of view. I remember when the last Men in Black came out. What was it? 3? I think it was 3. I was kind of worried. I was like, I'm not sure if this is going to have legs anymore. And actually, I had a lot of fun. I mean, again, it wasn't as good as the original, but, it had a different take. So I think, adding some new actors and actresses and, changing up the characters, I think will make it interesting. So I have hope for this one. I think this one might be kind of fun.
I do think that Chris Hemsworth needs to be careful because he is playing kind of the clunky, thick-headed guy in this as well, kind of like he is Thor in the Marvel movies now. So he probably needs to be a little careful there, but it does look pretty fun. What happened to Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones? Did those characters die, or they're just, this is a different group of the Men in Black?
I don't know the answer to that, but I do wonder if maybe they kind of priced themselves out of the market.
Well, Will Smith was too busy playing Genie in the live-action Aladdin that's coming out this year.
Oh my God.
You've seen him?
There's a couple of movies coming out this year that I will tell you right now I have no interest in seeing. Yeah. I love Will Smith. I mean, he is like an awesome actor. I have no interest in seeing him half naked blue.
Yeah, and it's like half CGI blue.
He looks like a Smurf.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they're doing a live action Smurf movie.
I started getting a cold sweat when I saw that they were doing a sequel to Frozen. My daughter must never know of this. I don't want to go to see that. Let it go. Let it go. Anyway, but the one movie I'm a little scared about this year, DC-wise, is Joker. And it stars Joaquin Phoenix as Batman's arch enemy. And apparently, there's no special prosthetic on his face. It is literally just Joaquin Phoenix with a basic clown painted on his face. So it really just looks dumb. I'm sure it has a budget of about 50 cents, but I think that's what they were shooting for, is to really do a DC property like Joker dirt cheap and make it really dark and grim. If they are successful, I think we'll see a Batman done on the cheap, and I think that could be pretty cool.
I was trying to think of all the different Jokers and how elaborate the different prosthetics were, and I think some of the early ones weren't that much, right?
No, Cesar Romero from the old Batman series was better than what Joaquin Phoenix looks like in this new movie. More sophisticated, but he was just paint. In fact, Cesar Romero had like a mustache through most of it.
That's right. That's right.
It was painted over.
Well, yeah, even Jack Nicholson, right? When he played the Joker, I don't think he had a whole lot of prosthetic. I think he had a little bit of scarring, but the acting is what really can carry these off. So, their ability to act crazy.
I'm looking at Spider-Man Far From Home here, the write-up on it, and what's funny is Jake Gyllenhaal's in it, and he is Mysterio. Wasn't Mysterio that big dome-headed thing?
Exactly.
I wonder, is it just the voice of Jake Gyllenhaal? Are there photos out of that? How do they do that?
Yeah, I've seen him both in and out of Globe. I don't want to call it mask or makeup. I've seen him in and out of Globe, and it looks like it works well. And the great thing about this particular character is that his powers, or there's not really powers, he's using gas, but is to mess with people's minds, mess with their perception, and because Spider-Man is so dependent on those things, he's a good supervillain against Spider-Man. So you should be able to pull it off. And then didn't they have a couple other supervillains in this one?
Yeah, it has Michael Keaton, and he was the Vulture in the last one, right?
Right, that's right. But, well, I know there's been a whole bunch that have been rumored. I don't know who's been confirmed yet, other than Mysterio. I think Chameleon was rumored, and then I heard that they may be pulling in like a Sandman kind of character, or like somebody who can control the earth. And so it'll be interesting. I think there's a couple more supervillains to be announced that haven't been shown yet.
Cool. This Terminator project, it says it's going to come out in 8 months, and they haven't even titled it yet. I don't know if they're filming or what. It's not James Cameron directing, unfortunately, but it does have Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, and apparently it is going to be a direct sequel from Terminator 2. So they're pretending the other movies that were subsequently made did not happen. I don't know, it could be good. It's directed by Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool. So we'll see.
Hey, have you seen the trailer yet for Pet Sematary?
No.
So I think we talked about this before. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King. I think, up through graduating high school and even into college, I'd read every book that he had penned, including, under pseudonyms. However, if you remember back, many years ago, there was a Pet Sematary movie, and it wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. And so apparently they've decided to do a remake. And so this year, I think it's March or April, we'll be seeing a remake of the Pet Sematary movie. And from the trailers I've seen, it looks downright frightening. So it should be a fun ride.
So X-Men Dark Phoenix, that storyline would have been around the time you were reading the book, no? Or was it before?
Absolutely. Okay. No, absolutely. I've got the comics. I still have the comics today. Okay. Yeah, so Dark Phoenix is an interesting one, right? Because Jean Grey, the love of Cyclops, ends up dying. And, I forget why exactly, the story on why she died, tried to save somebody, didn't work, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And, there was a cosmic force that took her over and brought her back as Dark Phoenix. And so, she had all the different powers she'd absorbed kind of baked into one, and they were supercharged. And she came back without, a strong sense of, moral right and wrong, and just kind of laid waste to anybody that got in her way. It was an absolutely fascinating story because before that, Marvel hadn't really gone, in my opinion, Marvel hadn't really gone that dark. And right. With Dark Phoenix, she's going around, killing everybody and laying waste. I mean, they actually did go pretty dark with that, at least for the time. So, the two elephants in the room we haven't talked about are Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
I have to say, these are probably the two that I'm the most excited about this year. How about you?
Yeah, well, I don't know enough about Captain Marvel. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I do want to see it, but it's more like, hey, it looks cool versus any kind of backstory that I'm super familiar with. But I can't wait to see that one. And then Endgame probably is my most anticipated movie of the year. I want to see how the hell they get out of wherever they went to when Hamburger Helper touched the last bead on the gauntlet, or Grimace, whoever it was underneath
the Grimace. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, what's your prevailing theory right now?
I'm not sure I have one. I liked what you said. You mentioned or read somewhere that when he snapped his fingers or wherever they went was in the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
I kind of liked that theory. It does make sense. I do think that Ant-Man is going to, we know now that he's going to be in the movie, but I have this feeling that there's something with the quantum realm or Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp, that's going to have something to do with this. I did see that Hawkeye's back in this one. I made a joke during our last movie because I thought he was in that movie and just was so useless against Thanos that he just was invisible, but he wasn't there, and I guess he's in this one.
Yeah, I saw that he was in this one as well. I love that actor. I think he does a great job with that character. He is definitely outclassed by most of the other folks in the movie. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays into it. But one might argue the same thing with Ant-Man. It's not like he has, super duper powers or, projects anything.
Giant. He could go much bigger than Thanos, perhaps, and heavier, and just sit on him.
Yeah. Well, remember, I mean, he got up to 75 feet, if I remember right, from the last movie. One of the theories I just read in the last couple of days was that Doctor Strange actually traveled back in time, and that somehow him traveling back in time, he's able to change the course of history and prevent it from happening, or at least to put things in place so that somebody can come in and change what the outcome was in the last movie, which I thought was an interesting one. I read another one that, perhaps the trick to this is breaking of the Soul Stone, which I thought it was pretty much fried at the end of the last movie, but breaking the Soul Stone to release everybody from it, and that maybe that's how some of these other characters, whether it's Ant-Man or what have you, play into it, as they're able to go and shrink down and break it or what have you. So definitely a lot of theories out there.
I'm thinking Doctor Strange better damn well have done something in time, because I wanted to beat the crap out of him from the last movie for not. It's like, hello, you got a time stone. can go change anything you want here, stupid. So I'm hoping that he did indeed use that capability in some way to help save the day. That'd be pretty cool.
But the other one is if he did use the time. So there's different theories of time, but one of the prevailing ones is that time is like a tree, and when you change something, you go down a different branch, right? And so if he did go back and he did change something, then perhaps, the next movie takes place on a different branch as opposed to the original one that it started on. I don't know. It'd be kind of a cop-out in my opinion. I think they should resolve it another way.
I hope they resolve it completely, but don't discount that theory, because that would be a great way to explain a reboot of all those characters with new actors, since we now know that most of them are not going to be involved with this next phase. So
that's right.
So that might be a way. I'm thinking at the end of this, either time is rebooted in some way, or it's an alternate reality that, we see the birth of the Marvels again, only with new actors for kind of a new generation. We have to go to a break in just a second, but the movie that I just don't know what to think about yet is, and the trailer looks great, it's just a great trailer, is Godzilla. I'm not totally optimistic about it being any good, but the trailer looks great. And it's got 11 from Stranger Things in it. And I don't know, Kurt Ho, our guest for the Comic-Con episode, was the movie he was so excited about.
I grew up watching Godzilla. I mean, at that point there were reruns. And so, I've got a soft spot for Godzilla, so I'll probably watch it. I can't say that it's in my top 10 though, that I'm the most excited about. I think it's fun that they're doing another one. I think it could be really good. I was surprised at how much I liked the last one. But we'll see. This is definitely an unknown for me as to whether or not I'm going to get really excited.
Hey, Rick and Rick Nation, don't forget to check out our website at rickandrick.com. It's double the Rick in just one click at rickandrick.com. And we're back. Hello, Rick and Rick Nation. It is time to play Loaded Questions. Now, this is the part of our episode where we kind of test our knowledge of current events or recent events in marketing, media, technology, and pop culture. And Rick Wooten plays in studio, and y'all can play wherever you listen to Rick and Rick Rule the World. And so we're going to get going here. Rick, are you ready to take Loaded Questions?
I am.
All right, question 1. On the heels of its super duper lame Eat Like Andy television commercial during this year's Super Bowl, Burger King has launched a new spot that reunites its creepy king character with which of the following? A, Grimace and Mayor McCheese. B, Sir Shake-a-Lot. C, Subservient Chicken. D, The Wizard of Fries. Or E, Ally McBeal. Which of these has the king reunited with in a new Burger King commercial?
The only one I've seen recently with the king in it is the one where he's spilling all the marbles. And I don't remember. It's not Subservient Chicken. It's clearly not the McDonald's folks. Let's guess Ally McBeal. Let's go for Ally McBeal.
All right. No, unfortunately. It's so weird when I was putting together this question. So the answer actually is C, Subservient Chicken. This was a character online probably, 10 to 15 years ago, where Burger King created this live video where you could tell a chicken what to do, and it would do it. They got the idea from porn. This was in the days when Crispin Border Bogusky was working on Burger King, and Subservient Chicken was a really big hit at that time. The fast food restaurants were all targeting those young male super fans between like 18 to 24 who eat at these fast food restaurants, 3 times a day or 2 times a day. So it was a big hit, but I don't know who would remember him because, it was a certain group of super fans that now would be in their 40s and may not even recall that. And then most people never saw it in the first place. So it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, they do with Subservient Chicken. All right. Question number 2. According to Gartner, 81% of marketers say that in 2019, they will be competing mostly, or maybe even completely, on the basis of A, price, B, brand, C, customer experience, D, digital services, E, algorithms, or F, ASMR. Which of these will marketers be competing on? Mostly, completely.
Well, for you, I'd like to say ASMR, but I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's customer experience or brand experience. I think, more and more, like the company I work for, you've got folks that are really focused on that, and they realize that it's a big differentiator. So I'm going to go with customer experience.
You are correct. Chris Pemberton of Gartner writes, customer experience, or CX, is the new marketing battlefield. More than 2/3 of marketers say their companies compete mostly on the basis of CX, according to the 2017 Gartner Customer Experience in Marketing Survey. And in 2 years' time, 81% say they expect to be competing mostly or completely on the basis of CX. So good job there. Question number 3. According to Inc. magazine, social video results in A, huge embarrassment, B, 12 times the shares of text and images, C, 20 times the share of text and images, or D, a visit from Stifler's mom. Which of these does social video result in?
So really it comes down to 12 or 20. I'm going to go with 20. I'm going to say that it's more.
Dang it. No, it is 12. So according to Inc. magazine, social video results in 12 times the shares of text and images in social posts. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode. Let's have an awesome movie year at Cineplex in 2019. And as always, be sure to come back and listen to The One Show, where everybody's name is Rick and everybody rules the world.
Thanks, everyone.